All right, g'day, hi and welcome. I'll just take the dampening pillow away so you can see the beautiful Makepex drum kit I got here, my Anaconda Burst. Okay, if somebody were to ask me a year ago and said, Reg, if you were going to compromise on one item, what would it be? Everybody says buy a really good snare. I don't know about that. Like for your, like say you can buy cheap drums, but buy yourself a really good snare. And what does that mean? That means different things to different people. But here's what I would say. If I were to buy this drum kit again, okay, I bought the hardware kit as a kit. It's the Mapex Mars line kit. It's good hardware. There's really nothing about it that I can complain about. I mean, you can see like the booms go in, like everything's telescopicing. It gets in nice and close to the kit. It's not too bad. It's very stable, even on the heavier tom. Bob's your uncle, right? But that, it works good. It's responsive. I mean, like it works fine. Functionally, nothing wrong with it. But the legs don't swivel, which I wish I would have had a slightly better hi-hat stand. So that when I did go to the double pedal, if I was never going to go to the double pedal, this stand would do me for the rest of my life. But I know it's not flexible enough to do what I need it to do, because like this leg needs to be over there, in behind all that. So you know what I mean? But I think what I'd rather have is a legless stand and just a bracket. Once I figure out where I want to put it, it's just going to be a bracket holding it so that the legs, no matter what, never get in the way. That's one thing. The hi-hat stand is kind of one of those things. Like I think you can compromise on the snare. Buy a cheaper snare. That's fine. I think I would have bought a smaller snare in hindsight. Yes, I'm a rock metal drummer, going to be a rock metal drummer, but I'm also realizing that you don't need as big a drums to get big sounds as much as you think. The shallow toms, I think, would serve me better because they would be an inch lower right from where they are right now, which also means I could probably get them in an inch closer. And the 14.5 snare is massive. This thing's great. It's a great snare. It really is. But I think a 12-inch giving me an extra 2.5 inches in would bring these toms in even closer. And a 12x6, I think, is plenty big sound. It's not the biggest sound, but it's plenty big, even for rock and metal, which means I could get other things closer, such as my slave pedal if I needed to, or if I have a double bass drum, at some point I will, and having either a legless stand or a stand that can remove. There's a lot of different stand options out there, but I think because this might not be my final kit, I may end up with a double bass setup. I think a legless stand with brackets is probably going to be the smarter way to go, so I can get this in nice and close. It just makes moving things around easier, right? So that's my take on that. That's what I would need. But like if I was just to stay with the single pedal for the rest of my life kind of thing, never go to the double pedal, this stand would be more than adequate for the rest of my life. Is it the most responsive stand? Probably not, but it's as good as the player. It's as good as the player. I mean, I still suck because I'm new, but 9 months in, I have no complaints on it. The guys that are extremely dynamic, like the jazz guys and like the really super hyper dynamic guys, yeah, they will upgrade from something like this. But for most rock and metal drummers, it does the clacking and banging that you need it to do. But that is something that I wish I would have bought in a better quality of. That's why when I bought my double pedal, I just went to the best pedal that Mapex had. I know there's better double pedals out there, but this one's a really good one. It is really good. I am going to upgrade the springs on it for heavier springs eventually. But for now, I'm just going to use it the way it is. I have no problem with it. More than enough adjustment. I'm sure the longer boards would solve a lot of problems with the hi-hats too, being able to come out a bit more. Then your toes not hitting the top of this leg here. But I don't hit it too much. I can. So it's not too bad, but it's better when the pedal's on here. It's the going back and forth that's that's where you need that kind of this either back here or whatever. But I don't want this hi-hat over here either. I want it like here, nice and close to everything, right? So I'm going to work on that and then get that there. But then I also don't want that pedal underneath my snare, because then you see what I mean? Like you kind of run into a problem. Two pedals can't occupy the same space, right? So it just is what it is. But yeah, that's just something you guys tell me what you think about and what solutions you came up with and stuff like that for, your hi-hats when you went to a double pedal or a double bass. I know the double bass guys, they usually end up just ditching the legs. And if I could ditch the legs off of this and just get a bracket, I'll do that too. Then I don't have to buy another stand, right? But that might not necessarily be the best option either, because this stand, I'm never going to get rid of it ever, because there might be a day where it's like, hey, Reg, we want you in the country band. Don't bring that damn metal double pedal because we're a country band, right? Okay. And I'll be like, okay, well, I'll just take this. I'll take this, that, and this, and that. Done. The whole band grabs a piece. Everybody, the drum kit's in one hall is in there. And 10 minutes later, I'm completely set up. Done. You know what I mean? Metal show. No. That double pedal is going to be there for sure. So that's my take on it. You guys, again, like to hear some of the solutions you came on. I love compact. I love the idea of ergonomics being the guiding force for my drumming, because the easier I can play stuff, the less stress I can play stuff, the smoother you're going to play stuff, and the better you're going to sound, right? So anyway, there we go. You guys tell me what you think about your, hi-hat stands. And if you were to, with the rig you have up right now, what would you change about your hi-hat stand, and why, and what would you get, and what's a great bang for the buck, and what gave you the most versatility, stuff like that. There we go.